Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 152 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. Still getting used to the Playroom recording studios.
We'll figure it out. It's a work in progress. We need our own
Lighting expert.
Kevin Coelho, or just somebody to just not.
We're trying to figure out the lighting. Let's just say that. You can probably see the shadows. You probably saw them last time. When we were in the pool house recording studios, we had rocks in the background.
Yeah, they just faded away.
So we could just do a green screen and just put the rocks in the background again. But I like our decal.
I do like the decal.
It is pretty sweet, I must say.
It looks good.
If you want to see, you can go over to youtube.com/2playercoop, where you can check out the Two Player Co-op podcast, where every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video with your friends and family, and all that other stuff. Also, if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. You can do the thing.
I can't remember.
No, it counts, yeah. Just like our Two Player Co-op producer, Steve Appleton, did, as well as our Two Player Co-op affiliates. Wow. Logan Wilkinson, James Solar, and Nick Schifani. Thank you all so incredibly much. It really means the world to us. Like, honestly, I don't know when Mario is going up, but we did one more Mario Maker 2 Let's Play. Maybe it's already up. I don't know. Editing's hard. But for the first time, we did a green screen Let's Play, and it was a lot of fun. Let's Plays are fun. Anyways, I've wanted a green screen for a while. We kind of figured it out. Again, this whole thing's a work in progress. We're going to figure out
very much
what we got to do. Yeah. Yeah, just stay not wrinkled, and we'll be happy. Also, I got a new shirt. Shout out to NBA Jam. Sean got a new shirt, which is pretty fun. If you want to see that, you should just go to Facebook.whatever else was.
Facebook.whatever.
It's .com. Facebook.SeanKevin. It's part of a long con present for our mom for her birthday, her 73rd birthday. We've wanted to recreate a picture from our childhood for a very long time, and we did that. We got stared at by all the locals in Cairville saying, who are these ninjas that are trying to rob a church? Also, why are they standing on the road taking pictures now? But it was all worth it in the end. We pulled into a church because we thought there was bushes and stuff to recreate this picture, and then we're like, there's nothing here. And as we were pulling out, this guy who's obviously like volunteer security for this church or whatever was like looking at me as I drove by in my ninja shirt and my headband and everything. He's like, what the hell's going on? And then he saw Sean behind me. He was like, whoa, ninjas are gonna rob us. So we just drove through the church parking lot back out to the road, and when we got out there, he followed us down a block before we parked, got out, and did our photo shoot next to the shrubbery and the bushery and all that other stuff. And it was just hilarious. Like, yes, we look like criminals, of course. But shout out to Mom. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally recreated it. It's something we've wanted to do for a long time.
Yes.
Speaking of illegal, I got pulled over for a speeding ticket for the first time in 15 years.
I couldn't believe that.
On the way to Mom's birthday dinner.
I did not think it had been that long since you had gotten pulled over.
It's been forever.
15 years ago.
I was a young man. I didn't have kids. He got kids.
Well, 15 years ago was what?
You were still in college.
Yeah. I think I've only gotten... I don't think I've had any speeding tickets since I've been here. I've been pulled over once, and I got off. And I think I only got one speeding ticket. I bet I've had one speeding ticket in the last 10 years. But I had like probably 2 or 3. Well, probably 2 in like 5 years before that.
So the only thing that was on my record, he's like, wow, usually I don't find 37-year-olds with only one thing on the record. I was like, I know, I'm pretty good. I get that. The last thing on my record was, I think 8 years ago when I was having my heart issue. When I drove myself to the hospital when I was having AFib, which I didn't realize at the time. Drove myself to the hospital. I was a block away from the hospital. And I could tell I was about to pass out. And the light was like yellow. When I get there, it's going to be red. But I was like, I have to go through this or I'm going to pass out and probably just like saunter out into traffic and get hit by a car. and probably die. So I ran the red light. I got to the hospital. When I got out, Jess got there right before I did. When I got out, I basically collapsed. They had to put me in a wheelchair and bring me in. I had an AFib for 24 hours. It was fine. It really was fine. I'm not just being stupid. It was fine. But then they got me on camera, Germantown did, running a red light. And the only the time I got pulled over before that was like 2 or 3 years before that, when I just didn't put my new sticker on my license plate for registration. I had it, but I didn't put it on, so I had to go to court, and it got thrown out, whatever. Dad's saying you got to go to court and fight this. So I got pulled over doing 39 and a 20, which sounds really bad, except normally this road...
Double the speed limit.
Normally this road is a 30, but because it's right, so if you get out of Jess's school, you go down Center Street to 72, they're doing all that construction there where they've dug up the roads. They changed it from 30 to 20, and I swear I didn't see anything. That guy was just waiting right there. It's where Jess's friend also got pulled over there the other day. Like, it's a speed trap at this point. But the guy's like, hey, yeah, enjoy Olive Garden. Say happy birthday to your mom for me. I'm like, I won't.
Say hi to your mother for me.
I won't, but I'll fight it. It's fine. So, yeah. Before we get into everything, we know there's a state of play happening this week. We know they're going to talk about Last of Us 2. I assume we're getting the release date. Looks like it's going to be February 28th. We're recording this Sunday night, so we have not seen it yet. Obviously, I don't know if this is going up Tuesday or Wednesday, but just know whatever happens at state of play, we'll talk about it next week. That was a lot of words. Something important that happened for us this week, Eli Manning was officially benched. I didn't know how I felt about it, and then we won the game. And the kid looked pretty damn good, I must say.
I would say everything now is very much justified. However, even if we had lost this game, even if Daniel Jones looked average...
Is this the tweet you deleted?
It's still the right move.
Yeah. But again, like, why not just...
It sucks, but, like, it's time...
But shouldn't we have just cut Eli in the offseason? Say,
probably, but
we drafted
just because we screwed that up doesn't mean, well,
no,
Eli,
I know.
You know.
But I think to be fair to
agree.
Eli, we should have just said, you're a free agent. Go see if you can find somewhere to play.
Yeah, but he still could. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of teams that need a quarterback right now.
Yeah, but he's saying he's not going to waive his no trade clause.
Well, that's on him.
That is true.
Yeah, he's correct.
Yeah, he's correct. It was a very emotional week for me. I thought I was about to do like this 9-10 tweet long tweet thread of thoughts on Eli, but I was like, there's no one cares, first of all. But I'm like, I know what I think about Eli. He's not going to read it, so I don't need to tweet this. But like, the guy is everything I could have asked for, and I would not have traded him for any other quarterback from that time period. I wouldn't trade him for Brady, Romo, Rodgers. That is my, not to quote T.O. or anything, that's my quarterback. Like, I would not have traded him for the world, and I will always be grateful to him. He's my favorite football player of all time, and it sucks. It's obviously it was going to end. All things end, obviously, especially in sports. But like, I don't know. We couldn't have asked anything more of him, and he's handled it perfectly, like I knew he would. He's the best.
Yeah, I mean, total class act. It sucks for him, but at the same time, like, it's a business. It was definitely time to move on. And yes.
My stomach. Did you hear that?
Yes. And now that Jones had a great game and actually won, it's like, and it's not all, I mean, the stat line, he played a great game. But I think beyond that, it's the intangibles, and it's just, you could tell the team was just different. Everybody was revitalized, and like it had to be done. I don't think any Giants fan is gonna. You couldn't have asked for anything more out of Eli. It sucks, but I do think it was time. It was time to move on. It was probably time a few weeks ago, a few months ago maybe, but it is what it is. But it's nice to be excited for the future of the Giants again. Because I was excited when we drafted Saquon, but I was like...
But the rest of the team sucks.
Yes. Yeah. And as much as I will never, ever, ever say that we should have taken...
No. Darnold. No.
Darnold. Like, absolutely not. but you need a quarterback to run the team. And you cannot pass up on a once-in-a-generation player like Saquon. But now we have that quarterback too, and it's like everything, no matter how good Saquon is, everything is built around the quarterback. I think we have something to actually build on going forward, and it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, I agree. You know what else I was looking forward to?
What's that?
The Sega Genesis Mini. So I got this bad boy Thursday when it came out. I played it Thursday night. Let me see, what games did I play? I played Columns, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Wily Wars, Monster World 4, Shinobi 3, Sonic 2, Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2, Super Fantasy Zone. That game's weird. Virtua Fighter 2.
I can't wait to see that.
So I played 12 of the 42 games already. Oh, and Tetris. That's not even Tetris and Darius. So I played 14 of the 42 games all on Thursday night. And so I got this thing. I also got I got 2 6-button controllers. Stay tuned. We're going to be playing through not every game on this, but we're going to be playing through some of the games on this. There's a lot of games on this that we've wanted to do Let's Plays of for a long time, but it just never worked out. Now with this thing, we're good to go. I love this thing. At first, though, when I plugged it up, so I plugged it up downstairs in my living room. I got out my 25-foot-long HDMI cable. I was like, the kids are in bed. It's great. Got my 6-button controller. Plug it in. Boom, 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 boom. Way over here. Plug it in next to me. 6-button controller. Turn on the TV. Oh, I hear the music hit from the menu, and it's like, this is Yuzo Koshiro designed this. This sounds so good. It's awesome. Let me play Street Fighter 2. Hit it. As I'm going through the menus and stuff's moving, I was like, something looks weird. That's weird. And as soon as I start playing, I jump with Ryu, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's like I was explaining to Sean the other day, it's like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. When you do a super move, you got the shadows behind you. That's everything in this whenever anything moves. And I was like, oh my God, my Genesis Mini's busted. Maybe it's just that. Maybe I got to turn it back on. That didn't fix it. Okay, let's play Sonic 2. Start moving with Sonic 2. Everything has shadows. The rings, Sonic, the enemies. I'm like, what is happening? Oh my God, my Genesis Mini's busted. I still don't know what it is to this point. It has to be some kind of motion blur setting or something on my Samsung in the living room. I finally said, the hell with this. I got to figure out if this thing's actually... And then I tried another HDMI cable as well. Didn't fix it, so I'm like, okay. So I took it in the kids' room where they have their Xbox, and I plugged it up there. Perfect. Pristine picture. Absolutely perfect. So clearly there's nothing wrong with the Genesis Mini. It's a me problem. It's something with my settings on my TV. But the way I've got it set up, it's like when I turned game mode on a long time ago, there's a lot of settings that I couldn't change for some reason. And motion, everything related to motion blur is just grayed out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do. Am I going to play it on the big screen a lot? Probably not. I really got this just so I have it and so we can do Let's Plays and everything. But then when I took it out to the kids and I played it out there, it was perfect. Everything looks great. I uploaded a little video for Sean just when we were testing out some stuff with the green screen so he could see it. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Special Champion Edition, excuse me. It's perfect. It's exactly how I remember it. It feels so
perfect.
It feels so good on the 6-button controller. It's phenomenal. Monster World 4 was a lot of fun. This game's like a side-scrolling... It's like what Zelda 2 should have been if it didn't suck. Sonic 2 is a blast. Chemical Zone, I started having flashbacks when we did the Versus episode, and I kept drowning and stuff. And then there's the bridges that fall, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't even want to play this anymore. I played Sonic 1 a little bit. Tetris, like people said, it's garbage. It is horrible. It looks like it's like 2-bit graphics. It's horrible. And there's no way to just drop the blocks down. You have to just hold, down so it does a do, but you can't just have it go bink and just go down. Darius, this other game that was on there, never released here. It's fun. It's a side-scrolling shooter. Thunder Force 3, I don't think I said that. I played that for a little bit. That was fun, too. What else did I play? Columns was fun. I completely forgot about Columns. So Columns is not like Tetris and not like Dr. Mario. It's probably more similar to Dr. Mario, but the only thing you can do, you cannot move blocks. You can't flip them horizontal. They come down vertical, 3 jewels, and you just flip the order of the jewels.
Okay.
So you have to match 3 I almost said horizontally, vertically, or you can also go diagonally, which I didn't remember. You can turn hints on, so as you're getting used to playing this, it'll like when the gem starts falling, you'll have some of the things at the bottom will start to blink to show you like, hey, if you land something here in the right order, you can get rid of these gems.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. Jess saw it and she kind of wanted to play, but I was like, yeah, you can play. And then she just read a book or something. What else? Gunstar Heroes. It's spoiler alert. It's going to be the first Let's Play we do here. That game is just as good as I remember it. I think it's my favorite Genesis game ever. And just playing it for like 20, 25 minutes, I was like, yep, this is exactly how I remember it. It's beautiful. It's so much fun. The only thing I don't know, I think we almost have to, when we play this, I think one of us has to be fixed aiming and the other one has to be run and gun.
I think it helps, to have one of each.
Because when I got to the boss of the rail cart level, when you start going vertically, this thing like will go boom, boom, boom. And if you have to either aim down at it or when it gets above you, you have to aim up. But if you're aiming up, you're moving your cart unless you have fixed aiming. So that boss becomes incredibly difficult if you can't just stay still and pepper him.
Right.
So we need to remember that when we do the Let's Play. What else? Oh, I played Streets of Rage 2. That was a lot of fun because it's Streets of Rage 2. Wily Wars. I played Mega Man 2 a little bit. This game's really pretty. You need to try that.
I saw it on YouTube a while ago, and that was the first time I had not realized that this was like a remake. I thought it was just a port.
Yeah.
And it was just going to look like the NES, but on Genesis. I didn't realize they redid the graphics and stuff, so I'm definitely interested in that. I want to try that out.
It looks really cool. The opening for Mega Man 2, you're going up the building and stuff, but it's with a little bit of extra pizzazz. Like you can see more of the city in the background and stuff. It's so cool. The soundtrack sounds great. Shout out to the Genesis. You only played this in North America if you either emulated it or if you had Sega Channel. I don't think we ever played it on Sega Channel. Maybe we didn't have the channel long enough to play it.
Probably not.
But this thing is everything I wanted it to be. I didn't play Beyond Oasis. I want to get back to Kid Chameleon. I don't know that I would go so far as to say this is the best mini console. I think that's tough because I do think, as much as I love this thing, I think the lineups on the SNES and the NES are better overall. Like I can see my kids, I think they would rather play either the NES or the SNES just because of either Mario 3 or Mario World, period. It's much more fun to play those two-player than it is Sonic. You got Street Fighter on both of them. Streets of Rage 2. I don't think Final Fight wasn't on the SNES. So you got to beat them up here. You got some of the one of the best RPGs ever made in Phantasy Star 4, which is another reason you need to get this. Road Rash 2 would be fun. Earthworm Jim's great. That wasn't on the SNES. We also got Dynamite Headdy. And is Rystar on this? Nope, no Rystar.
Oh, man. I thought it was.
But it's awesome. You're definitely going to see some Let's Plays here. And I think even the bad games like Virtua Fighter 2, just to like I played one fight and I was like, I see why they're calling this Virtua Fighter 2 because I can pick a Kira and go like forward kick and he does the like the double kick thing. It's just weird when it's side-scrolling and it's all sprites. It's just so weird. This is not not my Virtua Fighter 2. But overall, I'm happy I got it. I'm happy I got the two 6-button controllers. I do still think Special Champion Edition plays better than Turbo. When you've got the 6-button controllers, they're perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Interesting.
Yeah. I had a blast with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
I had blast processing with it. But there's something else we really want to talk about this week. Not a whole lot of news. So let's just jump right into it. Sean.
Yes.
A little game came out this past week called The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I've only played this game through the third dungeon before, like an hour and a half or so. I'm now through the fourth. Did I beat the fifth? Well, no, I beat the fourth dungeon, but I also beat the color dungeon last night. I'm assuming you beat it today?
I didn't play it at all today.
So you're on the last dungeon, or
I'm on the last
musical
true
instrument
dungeon. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I haven't even. I finished 7. I haven't done anything after that. I'm not even. I don't know where to go, but yeah, the next one will be the last one.
What do you think about Link's Awakening? We have both been more hyped for this than any other game this year, for sure. What do you think so far?
Honestly, it's kind of not really doing it for me. I'm just kidding.
I was like, is he doing a bit? Like, this is not.
No,
it's not
I
what
love
expected.
it. But in all seriousness, what I will say, the only kind of negative thing I can say is that it is very obviously a remake of an old game, and I don't really know how else to really describe it, but there are things that you're like, this seems weird, like some of the puzzles and some of the designs, I don't know, there's some stuff about it that it's like it screams a game that is 25 plus years old,
right,
that has just been, I mean, I don't even want to say up-resed, redesigned. It's weird because they have, like, as I'm playing through this, there are things that I'm like it is literally basically a
shot
sprite for sprite. Yes, like it is a direct remake. Like I'm seeing some of these levels and I'm like, I remember this exact room. There are a lot of things that I'm like, this is directly from the Game Boy version. It looks beautiful. I love the graphics, and I didn't think I would. It looks like, and I think you put it best, it looks like a diorama. Like it looks like it looks like real life. It looks like a real life version of little, I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but like it's beautiful. And I didn't think I'd really care for the graphics. But I love it. I'm going to try to, even though there's no platinums, I'm going to try to 100% this game, and I'm going to have to look online to even figure out what that means. I know at least all the heart pieces, all the seashells. I guess that's really the main two things. I've got the whole map uncovered, and I don't know what item I'm going to get in the 8th dungeon, and I don't know if it's going to be something that will allow me to, even though I've uncovered the map, I don't know if it's something that'll let me go places I couldn't before. But I've gotten, I think there's 50 seashells.
Yeah.
And I've gotten 15 of them. And I've been everywhere on the map. Like, I'm barely, I don't know how many you've gotten, but I don't have many.
I've got 11 or 12.
Yeah. So I'm a ways away from getting all those.
So I did look up.
It's exactly what I wanted.
Because I was like, what is the point of these seashells? Do I even need to worry about these? So I looked it up last night before I passed out and went to sleep.
You get like the equivalent of the Master Sword if you beat it. I mean, if you
get 40.
Oh, it's not even all of them?
So if you get 15 and you go cash them in, then you get the thing that beeps when you're on the screen with one.
See, that's going to be huge.
When you get to 30...
I don't think I'm at 15 yet.
When you get to 30, you get like an extra tile or something you can use in the dungeon chamber. Have you done that at all yet?
I did like the one...
I haven't even done it because I was like, I just want to play the game.
So I'm wondering, because when I read the sign, it's like Dampy's hut that way. I'm like, wait, Dampy's in this? And I don't know that he was in the original. I could be wrong.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Like maybe they added him to the DS or DX version. There's a lot of similarities between this and Ocarina.
Yeah.
Between like Marin and Terran and Malin and Tal. Like there's a lot of, you get an Ocarina, there's a lot of similarities. I don't remember Dampy being in this. So I could be wrong. Maybe he was and I've just forgotten and they're like, hey, this is a cool character. Let's go ahead and put him in Ocarina of Time also. I don't think that's how it went, but I could be wrong. But you go to see him, and he's basically like, you go to see him to do the dungeon creation stuff. And I don't know how it works in general, but for the first one, he's like, it's very much tutorial. So I don't know how you get the rooms.
Right.
I had a decent amount of them. And it's like, when you do it, it's like, you start here. The boss is here, and then there's like one other room that he put on there, and you basically build the rest.
You got to make it all connect.
But it's very, they make sure that when you do it, they like color code it green or red if you have any errors, where if you've got like a locked door here
but no key,
and either no key or a way that you could possibly screw it up by using a key here that does not lead to another key, and therefore if you go through this door before that door, you'll never find another
blocked,
key.
yeah.
So they make sure you can't screw it up. I don't know what all comes of it. I've got to assume there's got to be something that's worth it, but it's kind of like the seashells, where by the time I'm going to get 40 of these things, I will have probably already beaten the game, or I'm ready to go finish the game. And it's like, well, what do I need a powerful sword for at this point? So where it's really just you're trying to 100% the game, and regardless of what you get from it, who cares? It's nothing that you'll need at that point. I just don't know that we're ever going to see a full-fledged Zelda maker. I think there's so much more that goes into a Zelda level.
You need to just be able to put rooms down and customize everything inside of there. This is, I still think this is more of a proof
It certainly
of
wouldn't work
concept.
in this style, but just in general, like when you start building these levels, you see how much goes into, oh, wait a minute, if I've got this locked door, I need to make sure you have a key.
Yeah.
But if there's 2 locked doors and I only have 1 key, and you go through this door instead of that door, and now you've wasted your key, and there's not another opportunity to get another key, so you can never open that door. There's just a lot of things like that. I think it could be done. I don't know that we're ever going to see a Zelda maker.
Yeah.
That being said, overall, I love the game. It's exactly what I wanted. A lot of it comes back to me, like the names of all the levels. I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The 7th one, I kind of remembered, and then there's something cool. As much as I hated that dungeon, there's a cool thing that happens during that dungeon that once I saw it, I was like, oh, I remember this. Like it was, there's so much of this game that's coming back to me as I'm playing it. Whereas I would have thought, I don't remember anything about this game. But once I actually see it again, it's like triggering all these things in my head, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, everything that I played through in the first 3 dungeons, because that's all I did on the Game Boy, emulated, whatever. It all looked familiar. I mean, obviously familiar, but completely different. I love this game. You know, I was streaming it last night. Go to twitch.tv /2player_co-op. Sorry, the video was funky. We'll try to figure that out. But yeah, this game's absolutely beautiful. The music is perfect. The one scene that stuck out with me was when Link and...
Did you like the music in the color dungeon?
I couldn't barely hear it because I was streaming it.
It was... I don't know if you said anything, because Brittany got home right around the time you were playing that, so I was talking to her, but it is Zelda 1 dungeon music.
Is it really? I couldn't... I had it so... Because I was so freaked out about streaming it, I was like... Can I replay it?
I don't know. I wonder if you can go back and be like, you know what? I don't want the blue tunic. I want the red. Or I don't want the red. I want the blue. I don't know if you can play through it again and change it, but... I mean, if you go back and watch the video, you can hear it. But it's so good.
I like when you go into the mysterious forest, the way that they did the effects there with every, like, the clouds hanging over and everything. It's like, that's probably, in my mind, this is what A Link to the Past looked like 28 years, 27 years ago, whatever it was. I think my only complaint with this game is... And I've said this in other Zelda games too. If I open a chest and I get 5 rupees, I don't need you to say, wow, you got 5 rupees. These are 5 rupees for your wallet.
And like,
you got 5 rupees.
Compass. You found the compass.
Guess what this does? I'm like,
now there's a new feature and it'll ding when there's a key nearby. Pause.
They should put something.
And back to the game.
They should put something in this game that say, have you played Zelda before when you start it? Yes or no?
Yes.
It's fine if it pops up the first time. So now you know the compass isn't just a compass. It also will ding when there's a key in the room. You should tell people that. You should tell them that one time.
Yes.
Not every freaking time. And every time I get a key, guess what? You got a small key. You know what it can do? It can open a door. And on the stream last night, I was doing the same. I was like, I freaking know, and I know what the courage of the acorn courage thing does, and what the power stone thing. I know what they do. I get it. Please stop telling me.
There have been times where I'll have like a piece of power or an acorn or whatever on the ground, and I'm like, I'm not going to get it. Yes, I purposely avoided it because I'm like, I just don't care to read about what it does. Like, and I just left it.
That's my one main complaint. I do see some. I know everybody's been talking about the frames per second.
I know what they're talking about. I've seen it. But
I see it, but I'm like, it's usually if you either go. It's really when you go from one area of the map to another. If you go from like the mysterious woods to, is it Mabe or Mabe? How do you say the village? Do you know?
It's probably Mabe, but I always say Mabe.
When you go from the woods to the village, when it like pops up and says Mabe Village or Mabe Village or whatever, it stutters a little bit, but then you keep walking and then it's fine. Like it's not that. I think people that are complaining about that are really just looking for. They just want to hate on the game. 2D Zeldas are always my bread and butter, and this is my bread and butter. Oh, one of the other complaints I had. That crane game sucks.
Really? I had no problem with it. I think I missed something my first try, and then the second time, I thought I missed it, and it grabbed it, and I was like, oh.
And it fell far enough or something?
Well, it picked it up, and you could see, I think it was the heart piece, and you could see it like bouncing around, and I'm like, oh no, but it took it the whole way and dropped it. I was like, oh, okay. So I assume once you pick it up, you've got it?
No. I had two things fall out on the way over, and I was like, "This is." I used 80 or 90 rupees in this stupid game to get like the thing to get the Yoshi.
I only did it. I got the heart piece, the Yoshi, and
there's two other things. I think
there's only one other thing that I cared about.
I don't even remember what it was at this point, but like,
the shield. I think it was a shield.
Well, no, you get your shield in the house when you wake up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There is a shield in there, but that's on the one that moves at the back.
Right.
So those,
but I ignored that. There's two in the back that I didn't even care for.
It's like a purple rupee.
It was the 3 stationary ones, and I got them all.
But
I got the 3 within 4 tries.
If you go out and go back in, there's new stuff, though. I just can't remember what I got.
Okay.
But I hated that. That was annoying. But the side-scrolling parts, too, super fun in this. I love it. It's so Nintendo. It's just there's Goombas and there's piranha plants and all this other stuff. Link's jump is super weird when you're side-scrolling. Yeah, it's like wee, wow. It's like... It's weird, but I love those parts. I think this game has the easiest boss.
The bosses are fun. None of them are difficult, but they're just fun.
But I do think the anglerfish, the easiest boss.
Oh, that was... I don't even think I got hit.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, what else? I was streaming it last night. I was like, what else is going to happen? Is this guy like he's going to turn the lights off or something? No, it's like... I see your little light. I'm going to boom, boom, boom. You send your little fish at me. Okay, // Go back to hitting you. It's like the easiest Zelda fight I think I've had since the Aquamenus in Dungeon 1 of Zelda 1.
One thing I will say that I like is, this is similar. I think they did it on purpose because it is very similar to the original. I love how broad a swipe you have with your sword. Mm-hmm. Like it covers a lot of area. And
it reminds me of Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, like your sword is like the size of you, and it covers like a 90-degree angle. Like it's a nice broad. I like it. It makes everything easy to.
Well, and it's so nice too to be able to play this game with analog controls, so you can aim, not just right, down, up, left. I was doing the wrong directions.
Right, like you can hook shot diagonally and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't got the hook shot yet. I assume I'm close because I got the 5th dungeon next. I wrote down what I need to do. I've got the ghost following me now.
Okay.
And I was like, there's this place where it looks like I should be able to jump over, but every time I run and dash, Link just goes...
That was one of my things. I don't want to nitpick, but I was going to say that.
Can I jump
over that? It's like now that you've got the dash and the jump, you can jump over like 3 blocks. And then when there's like a 3-block river, you're like, oh, I can jump over that.
Nope.
Then whenever you do it, he just goes miraculously. He decides to only jump 1 block, and you can't make it. And it's like, well,
it's so frustrating.
If you don't want the player to be able to jump over that, make it 4 blocks wide or whatever. Just make it wider. Don't be like, nah, your jump doesn't work here. Like that drove me nuts.
I did that. That's when I finally stopped streaming last night. I was like, I didn't die, but I jumped in there like 5-6 times. I was like, okay, I'm done. That's it. Night, y'all. I'm just done. Clearly, I'm not supposed to jump over this thing. I don't know why, because clearly Link can make this jump. I've made jumps much longer than this in the dungeon before in other places. But overall, I'm not ready to say where it ranks for me this year. Again, I'm only probably halfway through. I assume by the next time we podcast, I will have beaten it. At least that's my plan. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I've only played it on the big TV. I haven't tried it handheld yet. I think it just looks so good playing it on the TV.
It's beautiful, yeah. I haven't played it handheld yet either, but...
The other thing I like, the map doesn't feel like it's too big.
The map seems somehow, when you look at it, it kind of...
My stomach's making all kinds of noises.
I don't know. Like, I can't decide if it looks big or small. Like, it seems like it's big, but then once you actually start traversing it,
You
all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've covered most of the distance.
You go like 4 screens over in like 5 seconds. I'm like, well, that was weird.
And you're like halfway across the map all of a sudden. So I don't think it's that big of a map. However, when you think back to, this is basically a shot-for-shot remake of a Game Boy game.
Yeah.
You're like, how...
I don't know how they ever made this game on Game Boy.
Right. Like, this game is way closer to Link to the Past than it is Zelda 1. And it has no business being that close to Link to the Past when it's on the Game Boy. Like, it's unbelievable what they managed to do on that system.
Did you know, originally this game, they were going to make a Link to the Past remake for Game Boy. And while they were like scoping this out, they were doing all this fun, stupid stuff like the Goombas and the Piranha Plants and the Bow Wows and all this other stuff. And they were just like, well, we can make Zelda on the Game Boy. What the hell? Let's just make our own game.
Really?
And they said, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I mean, if I put a number on it, it's not perfect. But right now, I mean, I feel like it's a 9.5. Like, it's up there with
that 9 to 9.5. It's not a 10, but it's fantastic.
I don't think I'll end up liking it more than A Link to the Past, second favorite game of all time, so that's a lot to overcome. Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds are my 2 favorite top-down Zelda games. Well, no. Wow. That was a Freudian slip. It's better than Zelda 1.
Ooh, really?
I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to rank it higher.
I'm not going to say that it's not.
But it doesn't mean I'm going to rank it higher.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's one of those, yeah.
But I mean, it's at least a 9 out of 10. IGN gave it a 9.4 out of 10. That feels about right. Metacritic, last time I looked, was like an 88. Seems like it's going to settle there. I don't have any qualms with that. Game this year is going to be fun because really right now it comes down to 2 games. Yeah. And the more I see about Death Stranding, the more and more I'm starting to get hyped for this again because we actually see what combat looks like in this game. Did you see Kojima had the tweet or the quote or something's like, the game changes, of course, the tinfoil hats are latching onto this. Halfway through the game really changes. I think what that means is it gets way more action focused.
And then Metal Gear shows up.
Of course. And Gray Fox jumps out and he's like, I'm Lisa from PT and whatever. Jedi, but that's it. That's the only things left to come this year that can challenge RE2 and this for me. I think at the end of the day, this will be, I can't see this being lower unless Death Stranding or Jedi blow me out of the water. I don't know how this is any lower than 2.
Yeah.
You know, I absolutely love this game. It's like I was trying to, part of me was like, I want to just marathon through this and rush through this so I can beat it and talk about it. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And that now that I know what the seashells actually do, I'm like, okay, I'm probably, because I think I'm ready. I think I know where I need to go with the ghost boy to get him away from me. And I'm assuming once I do that, they'll give me a key that gets me into the next dungeon. But then after that, I think I'm just at the point now where I'm like, I have no shame. I'm just going to look up a seashell guide because I want it's the Koholint sword.
Okay.
There's no master sword in this. It's called
I'm going to try to get, I might be at 15. Maybe I'm only 13 or 14. I don't know. I want to try to get to 15 legitimately so that I can get that tone, and then I'm going to try to find them all on my own. If I can get to 15 on my own, I think I'll get them all on my own. One of my only real issues with the game, and I may be way off base here, but it almost seems like I know this is going to come as a big surprise. I don't know the first thing about video game design. However, to me, it seems like the issue should be creating, like, the technical creation of this game. You've created this, I don't want to say new engine, but like this whole new graphical style. Part of me just wishes you would have just done this and just made a new game. or at least done a quasi new game like they did with Link Between Worlds, where it's like set in the same world. Like, that's one of the main things I think this game suffers from, is, like I said before, that it definitely feels like an old game with a very beautiful fresh coat of paint on it. But like, there are some things that probably made sense 25, 30 years ago that don't really make as much sense now to do in a game. And the way this game plays out, if I remember correctly, I don't know how you really... I don't think you can do a true sequel to this game like they did with Link to the Past. But what was the last brand new, and I'm not counting A Link Between Worlds, brand new top-down Zelda game?
Do you want to count
Spirit Tracks?
I was going to say, if you want to count those, it's those.
Spirit Tracks was pretty bad, the little I played of it.
I forget which came first.
Spirit Tracks was second. Phantom Hourglass was okay. It had some weird gameplay mechanics.
Then it's Minish Cap.
Yeah, and before that, it was probably Minish Cap, which is a great game.
Yeah.
Just make a brand new top-down Zelda game.
Yeah, I do think this, it kind of reminds me of Metroid Samus Returns, where you're recreating a Game Boy game that was super limited. I think this, I will say, this is better than Samus Returns. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, you're still trapped in the trappings of a game that was made 26 years ago.
Exactly.
But because I've never, like I said, I played this game for like an hour and a half maybe in the past. I probably put 5-6 hours into it now, something like that. It feels like a new Zelda game to me, but it's clearly not a new top-down Zelda game.
Right. Like, what they did with this game when it was on Game Boy was, like, how did they ever pull this off?
Yeah.
And now it's like 25-something years later, and it's like, well, here's that same game, but it looks prettier. It looks beautiful now, but here's that exact same game. And I don't want to sound like I'm harping on this game because I really, really enjoy it, but it's like, part of me just wishes if you're going to go through all that trouble, give us a brand new Zelda game. Or don't make it a shot-for-shot, screen-for-screen remake of the original. Just build on it a little bit. Like, you know, all the levels don't need to be laid out exactly the same way. Like, I think they could have done a little more. I think when it all comes down to it, that's my biggest gripe about this game. But it's still easily a 9 out of 10.
Again, it's also, what you're saying reminds me of what I want. It's going to break my heart for Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. Is I want a shot-for-shot remake of the cutscenes. I want them to remake the rest of the game, like they did RE2. You know what I mean? Like, RE2 set the blueprint for
just think of like the RE1 remake.
Yeah.
Or I mean, yeah, even RE2 remake. Like, it's very much a remake of that game, but they took that and went above and beyond. They didn't just make that same game, but in today graphics, like, they redid that whole game.
A reimagining of that game from the ground.
That's what I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah. But it's also like, going back to the Metroid thing, I would have rather them made I loved Samus Returns because I never played Metroid 2. But it got pretty repetitive towards the end until you got some of the actual bosses towards the end of the game. And then the final boss fight was awesome, and it was just, I didn't see it coming. I would have definitely rather had a new side-scrolling Metroid game than that. I still appreciated it because it was the first side-scrolling Metroid game we got since 2004, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And yeah, we haven't had a 2D, or I should say top-down Zelda game since 2013. So I'm super happy for it. And now I feel like I'm talking like I'm down on this game. I'm not.
No, it's easily a 9 out of 10. Yeah. But it could have been a 10 out of 10 if they just would have not... I don't want to sit here and say it's not worth $60, but the fact that it is just a complete remake. I don't even want to say remake. They remade the game.
Yeah, it's a remaster.
It feels like it should be $40.
I do appreciate the what's the phrase? Quality of life additions that they made to it, to where obviously you don't have to equip your sword and your shield. Oh my god,
you had to equip like the power bracelet before in order to be able to pick stuff up.
It's horrible.
You had to equip the boots. You had to. It was so weird.
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely got that right. But also, how did they get it? Well, I mean, that's all they could do before.
Yeah, they had no options. But then what they should have done in the original Game Boy game was you have your sword is B, your shield it's like Zelda 1. If you're not attacking, you're guarding. So you never have to worry about equipping your shield. That would have made it a little bit easier, but yeah, if you're going back and forth, like I need to jump over this pit, now there's an Octorok there, so I need to jump over this, and as soon as I land, need to unequip my shield and unequip my Rock's Feather and equip my shield. Like,
yeah.
That's why before this game came out, anybody that says that's their favorite Zelda game, I think you need your head checked. Like, yeah, I'm not hating on it or anything, but like, it's amazing what they were able to do on the Game Boy, but you can't say that that's the best or your favorite Zelda. I mean, you can. It's your personal opinion. Yeah. I just can't imagine anybody saying Link's Awakening on the Game Boy is their favorite Zelda game ever. There are 5-6 games that are Zelda games that are better than it, at least, I would say.
Right.
All right. Link's Awakening. I'm sure we'll talk more next week once we both beat it. Sean, you want to get the news of the week?
Let's do it.
E3 is changing for 2020. This comes from IGN. The Entertainment Software Association is hoping to turn E3 2020 into a, quote, fan, media, and influencer festival that would feature, quote, Qtainment, yes, and a Disney Fast Pass style system. As reported by GamesDaily.biz, the ESA's plans were revealed in a pitch deck intended for the lobbyist group's members that was inspired and in response to, quote, feedback from publishers. The ESA proposes that influencers and paid celebrity deals become more of a focus, with examples including, quote, members of the Los Angeles Lakers playing a basketball video game in front of fans or actors competing in a tournament, end quote.
I'm going to stop you right now. This sounds awful.
Crap.
Like, who is wanting this? Who would see the sentence proposes that influencers and paid celebrity deals become more of a focus? Are there really people that want this?
I think this sounds horrible.
I think people that said E3 has kind of jumped the shark nailed it.
Well,
this all sounds terrible, but continue.
So they would also be the ESA membership approved adding an additional 10,000 badge holders for gamers. This would bring the total number of consumers up to 25,000 and would potentially lead to an industry-only day on the Tuesday before the public gains access on Wednesday and Thursday. These 10,000 gamer badge attendees wouldn't make E3 anywhere near one of the biggest shows in the world, as Nico Partners senior analyst Daniel Ahmad notes that E3 2019 saw 66,000 people attend compared to 373,000 that went to Gamescom. The plan also proposed that a Disney Fast Pass style system be implemented that would allow users to, quote, register for a demo time window and come back later to avoid waiting for hours for a single game. That doesn't mean there won't be long wait times, though. The ESA hopes to incorporate Qtainment to, quote, market to those in line. This would allow for E3 exhibitors to quote, have access to consumer data captured through the app or have a captive audience as people wait in line for demos. The pitch also discusses utilizing the power of social good. What the hell does that mean? And
Frank
quote,
Costanza
suggests exploiting millennial and Generation Z propensity for giving back. So we're going to try to milk these little millennials for everything they've got while they're waiting in line. It also proposes experience hubs in the West Hall, exclusive appointment-only activations for select attendees who will create buzz and FOMO, and paid media partnerships that would enable the ESA to control content and messaging. These changes and more are all in response to changing landscape of the video game industry that allow publishers to hold their own events as to not be drowned out by the deluge. Do you say deluge?
Yes.
Of news from an event like E3. They're also being put in place to combat such happenings as Sony/PlayStation not attending the show and Microsoft mostly holding its own events at the Microsoft Theater across from LA Live. The plans, however, do not go into detail about the leak of over 2,000 media attendees' information, how the ESA is ensuring that the data of those attending is safe and secure. So, E3 and the ESA sound incredibly desperate to me. But I don't know how they think that this is the answer.
This sounds awful.
Like, this makes it sound worse, like, and you're going to let 10,000 more people come in so they can sit in line and watch Qtainment? Who the hell? You know, somebody was sitting in a boardroom with a bunch of old white dudes, and somebody said, I don't know, I mean, they're waiting in lines, which are cute. Well, let's call it line-tainment. Line-tainment? That sounds stupid. What's another name for line? Well, you wait in a queue. Qtainment? Qtainment! by God Almighty, just put some beef on it, whatever. Like, this sounds horrible.
This sounds terrible. Like, E3 is one of those things that was kind of, I mean, even saying bucket list is putting too much praise on it, but like something that I think would have been cool to experience. But at the same time, like, if I really wanted to go, I would have by now. Like, it just sounds like I'd much rather just sit at home and just watch it than go there and experience it. And that was before. Nothing they've done would make me want to go more now.
Yeah, and then you hear this talk about like paid partnerships and stuff, and I'm like, people already have to sift through so much BS when it comes to, especially YouTubers more than anything. Not like IGNs. I mean, they have sponsored stuff. They'll tweet out hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, whatever. But you already have to like look if like randomly, like I follow like Vanos Gaming on YouTube. And then randomly he'll play some game I've never heard of. And if you look at his Twitter, he's like, I'm playing Dibda, hashtag ad. I'm like, okay. So you don't care anything about this game. They paid you to do it. You know, it's...
it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I was planning on going to E3 2020 anyway, but like, no, this sounds awful.
No, none of this sounds good. I agree. Next up, last item on the news, because it's been a very slow week. Google has announced a new Stadia bundle. This comes from IGN. A new bundle is now available at the G Store, which will replace the previously announced and available Google Stadia Founders Edition. Google confirmed to IGN that as of September 18th, the Stadia Founders Edition, which included the exclusive Night Blue Stadia controller, is now largely sold out. It is available in very limited supply in the US and Canada, as well as the UK, but it's otherwise completely sold out in Europe. They probably allocated like 100 of these things. Instead, what will be available to those looking to purchase a Stadia bundle ahead of the game streaming platform's launch is the Premier Edition, which will also cost $129 as the Founders Edition did. Google Stadia's Premier Edition is nearly identical to the Founders Edition. Are you confused yet?
This just reeks of like Kickstarter. It's like, ooh, we've sold out of these, but now, since you're a little bit late to the game, you can pay the same price, but get this instead.
Get a different color controller.
You are Google. Why are you... This just...
Because they have no confidence in this stupid thing.
A Kickstarter thing to me, and this is by Google. Like, give me a break.
The Premier Edition will include the Chromecast Ultra, MSRP $69, 3-month Stadia Pro subscription, MSRP $999.99 per month, and the Stadia Clearly White controller, MSRP for $69. The Founders and Premier Edition, while sharing a price point and largely the same features, come with a couple of differences. The Founders Edition comes with the exclusive Night Blue controller, while the Premier Edition comes with the Clearly White controller. That is just random. Meanwhile, the Founders Edition also includes a Buddy Pass, which allows for Stadia Founders buyers to share 3 months of Stadia Pro, Google's subscription program for Stadia, with a friend. Additionally, Founders Edition buyers can claim exclusive Stadia usernames, while Premier Edition buyers will have access to the same username formatting all Stadia members get going forward. So you can't get custom names, and you can't let your friends try it out. This is stupid of Google. First of all, I don't care about the usernames because I don't give a crap about that. If you still have people that are actually wanting to invest money into this stupid service, you should still let them give their friends a buddy pass so they can sign in and see if they want to buy this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Why would you take that away? Because of Google.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. That's all. Do you have any... I mean, I know the answer. Do you care about Stadia?
I do not.
I don't believe them that this thing's selling out. I think this goes back... Not the same thing, of course, because Nintendo, the Wii was in incredible demand. If this thing actually is selling out, it's only because they manipulated the market.
Yes. Like you said, they probably had like 100 of these available. Oh, we're sold out now, guys. Sorry. We couldn't keep enough in stock. Like, give me a break. I have yet to see anybody other outside of like big video gaming, like clearly paid off people that are at all excited about this. Like, I still go back to, have you ever played Mario Maker online?
Yeah, I've done some like the speed runs and stuff. Yeah.
Like with other people, like co-op, I mean?
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, you can do up to 4 people, but even when it's like me and one other person playing like a Mario 1 level, it's like... I'm like, if I can't even play Mario 1 online with another person, why is this that is going to be totally just online and in the cloud? How is this ever going to work?
It's not.
It may work between this person and that person who just happen to have like 10,000 gigabit per second internet and whatever, but like the general public, this is not going to work.
No.
I don't understand.
But it's the same thing, like kind of even, I mean, a little bit more advanced, but like when I would go online with Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection and play Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah.
Online. I'm like, this thing is going to fail. I don't like being a negative Nancy on here, contrary to what some people might think. This thing has no shot of succeeding. No. I do think
I applaud what they're trying to do. Yes, exactly. I do think it's more or less the way of the future. We're so far away from being there. Like at least 5 years, I think.
Yeah. We don't have the infrastructure. Shot. Other countries don't have the infrastructure. There's just... And as we talked about in the past, Google, when something doesn't work, they just abandon it. And they say, all right, never mind, moving on. So if you're going to put money into this thing, just be aware of Google's history and everything. Now it's time for the wrap-up. Batman came to Fortnite. I guess he's like $20 to buy. Or
of
something.
Course he is.
Gotham City's in the map. Noah was really excited. But I was like, did you play as Batman? He's like, no, it costs like $20. I'm like, all right. That's all I needed to know.
Is that still technically like in beta? Or like, is this
it's still open at whatever, early access, yeah. It's never going to get a full release.
But I mean, at this point, what does that even mean?
I have no idea. Like, you can do updates to games that are out. Like, every game gets updates. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Gears 5 was the biggest Microsoft launch since Halo 4. They had over 3 million players in the first weekend. I'm hearing a lot of good things about this. Sounds like a lot of fun, and one of the reasons I really like what I'm hearing is like the campaign is 6 to 8 hours. I'm like, that's what I like. Yeah. So I feel like I could play through all 5 games in 40 hours or less.
Right. Yeah.
Which is not too bad at all. Xbox... Wasn't Bosk... Isn't that Star Wars? Bosk?
I have no idea. Xbox.
I'm tired. Xbox Game Pass updates. It got, for this month, Bloodstained, Jump Force, and Dirt Rally 2.0. If for some reason you have not played Bloodstained... Bloodstained. It did it with Blood Money too. And I did it with Bloodstained when we talked about it. I kept saying everything's... I got blunts on the brain. Anyways, if you haven't played it yet, go play that game. If you like Metroidvania games, you have to play Bloodstained. I think I got it there right that time. Dragon Quest 1 through 3. Kevin.exe has crashed.
1 through 3.
I didn't know I was that tired. Dragon Quest, when my eyes twitching. Dragon Quest 1 through 3 is available on the Switch starting September 27th. These are the original games. They're not remixed or anything from what I can tell. And the Game Awards are officially coming back on December 12th. I'm absolutely shocked. What I'm still wondering, and I don't even know why I'm still wondering because it's clearly not going to happen, do we get a PSX this year? And the closer and closer we get to the end this year, I think there's no way.
Yeah, I think with every day that goes by where we don't hear anything, it's less and less likely.
Yeah, I mean, especially with them doing the state of play here, again, as you're watching this either today or it was either today or yesterday. I don't know when this is going up. But they're not going to reveal the PS5 almost a year before it comes out. They won't do that. It's going to be February, March, somewhere in there. They'll at least talk about it. They'll be back at E3 next year. They'll blow everything out of the water, and then it'll come out November 20th, 2020. But yeah, I mean, it's not like we were going to go anyways, but like, this has been a tough year to be a Sony fan when it comes to these big events and stuff. Obviously, we haven't had great games. I didn't care about Days Gone. Death Stranding, we'll see. Last of Us is going to be next year. It's just like I've missed Sony's presentations this year. And the 2 state of plays they've done so far have sucked. Now, they've said this is going to be a brand new presentation style and all this other stuff. I think it's only going to be about 20 minutes or so. But I don't know. I want PSX to be a thing. I got to think next year it will be, right after the PS5
It'll have
launches.
to be.
They have to do it next year. Yeah. I don't know. That's all I got. I ran out of Did You Knows.
Well, you dropped one on us earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, also, did you know the reason that they put oh crap, what are their names in Link's Awakening? Malin and Talon? Or Marin and Tarin?
Marin and Tarin. No. Yes.
Malin and Talon
Malin
and
and
Ocarina
Talon, yeah.
were just there because that's why they brought the Ocarina to Ocarina, because it was in this thing first, and then they brought Malin and Talon from Marin and Tarin because they were so popular with Link's Awakening. That's why they brought them to Ocarina.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
So there you go. I squeezed in another one. That's what she said. That's it for episode 152. Thank you guys so much for being here. I wish my eye would stop twitching. It's really getting annoying.
Speaking of Twitch,
you can find us at twitch.tv/2player_co-op, just like you can find us at nerd901.com. So go over there for all things nerdy in Memphis and around the globe, where they're connecting nerds around the Mid-South and the multiverse. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at KevinWhite24. You can find us, too. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. You can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/2playercoop if you want to support the boys here at 2playercoop. We would really, really appreciate it. YouTube.com/2playercoop is the place to go for all the things that are 2-player co-op in the universe. Like, subscribe, share, and all that other stuff. If you like audio, and I know Sean does,
love audio.
you can go to Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google, Stitcher, and other audio services around
The multiverse.
We have a Facebook page. We never update it. You know the deal by now. What have we been doing for views? Have people still been going over there?
We're at like 2.
Y'all are slacking.
It went from 3 down to 1, then somebody showed up to get it back to 2. I don't know.
Why don't you guys go to the page that we never update at facebook.com/2playercoopgaming. If you somehow get us up to like 50 views, that would be absolutely hilarious. Yeah, well, that would be awesome. That's true too. This has been a fun episode. We've really been looking for Link's Awakening to come out. I'm glad there wasn't a lot of news, so we could just focus on that. Come back next week. I'm sure we both would have beaten it by then, unless life gets in the way. But until that time, Sean. He goes, and you drive this way, and then the butterfly flaps its wings in Central Park.
It was my turn.
Go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.